Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Massive Nerd's second comic of the week, this time for January 12th, 2011. Now, initially, I was going to pick Daredevil Reborn as this week's comic. Fantastic read, I really liked it, but the more I looked at it, the more I thought I'd seen it somewhere else before. Yeah. Nothing against Daredevil Reborn. I really like what Andy Diggle is doing with the character. On second look, there was something else that I enjoyed even more this past week, and that is none other than Amazing Spider-Man issue 651. 651 is the concluding issue of the big time story arc started back in issue 648, where Peter Parker finally gets the things that he's been wanting most of his life: a new girlfriend, a steady job, a nice place to live. Things are looking pretty good for Pete until, well, Hobgoblin shows up and wrecks everything. Big Time has been really good fun so far. I'm liking what Dan Slott is doing with the character, and 651 is just a great ending to the introductory story arc here. Last week they revealed the new Spider costume, Spidey's stealth suit. Definitely pretty cool. Great counter to Hobgoblin's sonic scream attack that he has, and just really expanding upon Spidey's repertoire. He is a very Peter Parker is a very creative scientist. It's nice to see they're starting to bring a lot of that back into his life as a superhero. Reed Richards and Hank Pym aren't the only guys that can create something cool out of nowhere and have it work for them. It's just a great issue. Got nice little scenes with him with the Black Cat. Great face-off with him with the Hobgoblin, where once again it's not his strength, it's not his speed, it's Pete's intelligence that wins the fight for him and puts Hobgoblin out. And it's what really great about this issue is that it's a great setup for everything to come. Not just in Big Time, not just in the next storyline, but for potentially years of Spider-Man stories to come here. Hobgoblin is a great new villain. Well, the Hobgoblin isn't new, but this version of the Hobgoblin is new, and I love him as an adversary for Spider-Man. Lots of great potential there, especially since we know who he is in real life, and we see a lot of the tension with his real life personality interacting with the people that are important to Pete. But more importantly, we finally see the Kingpin in his rise to power. Okay, he's always been powerful, but now we see a whole new Kingpin, and there's a lot of really cool stuff to come from that character. Honestly, going into Big Time, I was a bit unsure about everything. If Peter Parker is finally happy in life, it kind of takes a lot of the drama out of the Spider-Man storylines, but I'm still a little apprehensive about it. But after reading that last page and those last couple panels with Aunt May, I have to be on board with it. It's just good, and I'm going to enjoy the ride while it lasts, and we'll see where it goes from there. But the issue itself isn't the only thing to like here. When they launched Big Time, they scaled Amazing Spider-Man back from 3 times a month to 2 times a month. However, they did increase the amount of pages in the comic from the standard 22 up to 30. Now, Dan Slott has said that sometimes it'll be 30 pages of pure Spidey, sometimes it'll be a regular 22-page issue with an 8-page backup. Now, this initially had me a little worried. As much as I enjoy the supporting cast, I really didn't want the continued adventures of Nora Jones in every other issue. Instead, what we've gotten here is backup stories that are tying into the main story. In the backups in the last couple issues, it's been focusing on Mac Gargan, the former Scorpion, former Venom, and now once again Scorpion. And it's tying directly into the next storyline. If you tie all the backups together, it develops a whole story arc of its own, focusing on the villains for the upcoming storyline in issue 652, Revenge of the Spider Slayer. And it's a great marketing tool because if you've been reading the previous story arc, it gets you that much more ready for what's coming up. Instead of just, a blind cover or going off of a preview, you're already started into the story by reading the previous story arc, and that is a great publishing tactic, and it's a good use of those extra 8 pages. So, Amazing Spider-Man 651, comic of the week for January 12th, 2011. You're going to be seeing lots of Spider-Man on this list, and I have a feeling at some point in the future, Daredevil Reborn will show up as a proper comic of the week.